Hey everyone, I'm Nicalia. Welcome to the YouTube channel for Pastor Brian Tubbs. We're going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence. This video is audio-focused, so you can easily listen while driving, doing household chores, or any task that doesn't need your full attention. This presentation is based on research conducted by Pastor Brian and was put together with his guidance and oversight using tools such as ChatGPT, 11 Labs, and NotebookLM. The information is based on research he conducted with assistance from ChatGPT. He chose to have me narrate. We begin with an overview of AI, what it is, where we are, and where we're headed. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is one of the most fascinating and fast-growing fields in technology today. From personal assistants like Siri to self-driving cars and even artistic robots, AI is shaping the future. But what exactly is AI? How did it start? Where is it now? And where could it take us in the future? Let's break it down step by step. What is AI? At its core, AI is the ability of machines to perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. This includes things like recognizing patterns, such as identifying faces in photos, making decisions, such as recommending what to watch on Netflix, learning from experience, such as improving responses in a chatbot over time. AI works by processing large amounts of data and using algorithms, a set of rules or instructions, to find patterns, make predictions, and improve its performance. Think of it as teaching a computer how to think and learn without needing explicit instructions for every step. For example, when you ask your phone, "What's the weather today?" and it answers, that's AI. When YouTube suggests videos based on your preferences, that's AI too. AI comes in two main categories. Narrow AI. This is the kind of AI we use today. It's designed to excel at specific tasks, like recognizing voices, playing chess, or filtering spam emails. Example, Alexa can set a timer for you, but it can't bake a cake. General AI. General AI is theoretical for now. This would be an AI that can think and learn like a human across all kinds of tasks. Example, a general AI could cook dinner, write essays, and learn new skills without needing specific programming for each one. AI relies on three key components. 1. Data. AI learns by analyzing examples. The more data it has, the better it performs. Example, to teach AI to recognize cats, you would show it thousands of labeled cat photos. 2. Algorithms. These are like recipes that tell AI how to process data and learn from it. One powerful type is the neural network, inspired by the way our brains work. 3. Training and learning. AI often uses machine learning, ML, to train itself. It processes data, identifies patterns, and improves over time. Deep learning, a more advanced form of ML, uses layers of neural networks to tackle complex tasks, like understanding speech or creating art. How did we get here? In the 1950s, Alan Turing, a pioneer in computing, asked, "Can machines think?" He introduced the Turing test to measure if a machine could imitate human intelligence. In the 1980s and 1990s, AI advanced with better computers and new algorithms. Expert systems that used rules to make decisions became popular. In the 21st century, with the internet providing massive amounts of data and computing power improving, AI started achieving impressive results, like beating humans at games. Today, AI can understand natural language, recognize images, drive cars, and even create art. AI has become a part of our daily lives in many ways. Smart assistants, Siri and Alexa, can answer questions, set reminders, and even control smart home devices. Self-driving cars. AI analyzes traffic, maps, and sensors to safely navigate roads. Medicine. AI helps doctors diagnose diseases and develop treatments faster. Entertainment. Platforms like Netflix and Spotify use AI to recommend shows or songs you'll probably enjoy. AI technologies like natural language processing, NLP, used in chatbots, and computer vision, used in facial recognition, are helping us interact with machines in more human-like ways. The future of AI is full of potential. Here are some possibilities. Healthcare. AI could discover new drugs, diagnose diseases faster, and provide personalized treatment. Transportation. Self-driving cars could become the norm, reducing accidents and traffic. Education. AI could create tailored learning experiences for every student. We may even develop artificial general intelligence, AGI, a machine as intelligent as humans. While this is exciting, it raises big questions about control, safety, and ethics. AI started as a simple concept in the 1950s and has since grown into a powerful tool that is changing how we live, work, and interact with the world. As AI continues to advance, it holds incredible promise but also presents challenges that we must navigate carefully. One of the exciting new AI platforms available is NotebookLM. NotebookLM is an advanced AI tool designed to organize, analyze, and generate insights from various types of information, including text, videos, and documents. It uses machine learning to summarize content, identify patterns, and even create new materials like podcasts. Pastor Brian leveraged NotebookLM to analyze videos discussing AI trends and predictions. The tool extracted the most important points, summarized the key insights, and structured them into a logical flow. Using its podcast generation capabilities, NotebookLM transformed these insights into a podcast that utilizes AI voices like mine, and it's a podcast you now get to enjoy. The podcast comes in two parts. First, our AI podcast hosts, which sound like real humans, will discuss AI trends and concerns in general. Then they will address insights and concerns raised by John Lennox, a mathematician, bioethicist, and Christian apologist. Please note that the opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Pastor Brian or the church he serves. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are tackling AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Right, AI.
It's such a buzzy topic.
It really is. Like, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, and for good reason, I think.
Well, that's what we're going to get into today.
Yeah.
Like, what is all the hype about? Why is everyone talking about AI? What is it?
Well, it's already impacting our lives in a ton of ways.
It is.
Even if we don't realize it.
I mean, even in like the last couple of years, it feels like it's just exploded.
Totally.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, just so everyone listening is on the same page. What exactly is AI? I feel like everyone has a slightly different definition.
Yeah, well, the way I think about it is that AI is all about creating machines that can do things that normally would require, like, human intelligence.
So, like, problem solving.
Exactly. Problem solving, learning, decision making.
Like thinking for themselves.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But it's not about, like, creating conscious robots or anything like that.
Right.
At least not yet.
Not yet. Okay, good to know. That is for another deep dive.
Exactly.
So how does this all work? Like, what's the magic behind AI?
Well, it's not exactly magic, but it can feel that way.
Right.
It all comes down to data and algorithms. So imagine you're teaching a kid how to recognize a cat, right? You'd show them tons of pictures of cats.
Right.
AI works in a similar way. We train AI systems by feeding them massive amounts of data.
So data is like food for AI.
Exactly. And then there are these things called algorithms, which are like sets of instructions that tell the AI how to process all that data, how to find patterns, and how to make decisions based on what it's learned.
So algorithms are like AI's brain, kind of.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. And there are different types of algorithms, some more complex than others. One really cool type is called a neural network.
Neural network.
They're inspired by the structure of the human brain, like how our brains have all these interconnected neurons. Neural networks have these layers of interconnected nodes that process information, and that makes them super powerful for tasks like image recognition or natural language processing.
So it's kind of like AI's learning by example, just like we do. But how did we even get to this point? Like, AI feels super futuristic, but I know it's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, it has a surprisingly long history.
Tell me more.
Well, the idea of thinking machines has been around for centuries, but the modern field of AI really kicked off in the 1950s.
Okay.
A brilliant computer scientist named Alan Turing.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's like a legend. He actually wondered if machines could ever truly think like humans.
And what did he conclude?
Well, he came up with something called the Turing test.
Okay.
Basically, it's a test to see if a machine can carry on a conversation so convincingly that a human can't tell they're talking to a machine.
Like a chatbot, kind of?
Yeah, exactly. But back then, it was all very theoretical.
So when did things start to, take off?
Things started to get really interesting in the 80s and 90s with the development of what we call expert systems.
What's that?
These were AI systems that were programmed with a ton of knowledge about a specific field, like medicine or law,
Uh-huh.
and they could use that knowledge to answer questions and make recommendations.
So like a super smart computer program.
Exactly, but they were still pretty limited. Then came the internet boom in the early 2000s.
Ah, yes. The internet. That changed everything, didn't it?
It did. Suddenly, there was this massive amount of data available, and computing power also increased dramatically.
Right.
And that was the fuel AI needed to really take off.
That makes sense. So we've got all this data, we've got powerful computers, and we've got these increasingly sophisticated algorithms.
Exactly. And that brings us to the incredible advancements we're seeing today in areas like machine learning and deep learning.
Okay, so you're throwing around all these terms. No, it's good. I need to get up to speed. So can we break those down? What's the difference between machine learning and deep learning?
So machine learning is basically the idea that AI systems can learn from experience.
Right.
So instead of programming them with specific rules, we give them data and let them figure out the patterns and rules on their own.
So the more data they process, the better they get at their task.
Exactly. And deep learning takes that a step further. It uses these complex, multi-layered neural networks. Remember those?
Yeah, the brain-inspired ones.
Right. And it uses those to analyze data on an even deeper level. It's like giving AI a more powerful brain.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So we've got these AI systems that can learn and adapt, and they're getting more and more sophisticated all the time. But where is all this leading? What's the big deal about AI? What's the potential here?
That's where things get really exciting. I mean, AI has the potential to revolutionize pretty much every aspect of our lives.
Okay, give me some examples. I want to hear about the exciting stuff. How is this going to actually change the world?
Okay, well, imagine a world where diseases are diagnosed and treated before you even show symptoms.
Whoa, hold on. Now we're talking.
Right, or where education is completely personalized to each student's individual needs.
So no more boring lectures and everyone learns at their own pace.
Exactly. Or imagine a world where climate change is tackled head-on with the help of AI-powered solutions.
Okay, now you're just making me want to fast forward to the future.
Oh, I know, right? It's really incredible to think about.
But we also have to talk about the other side of the coin. All this potential comes with risks, right?
Of course. It would be irresponsible not to talk about that.
Every time I hear about AI, there's always this talk about robots taking over the world or AI becoming too powerful to control. Is that something we should be worried about?
I think it's important to be cautious and to think critically about the potential downsides, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right. Okay, before we jump into all that, you mentioned some really mind-blowing predictions about AI in the next few years.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, next level stuff.
I know, right? We've got some fascinating insights from former Google CEO Eric Schmidt.
Okay, let's hear it.
And I think they'll really make you think about the future of AI in a whole new way. So one of the things Schmidt talks about is this idea of AI having infinite context windows.
Infinite context window.
Yeah. So think about it like this.
Okay.
Right now, AI models have kind of a limited short-term memory, right?
Okay.
It's like they can only remember so much information at once.
So if I ask it to write a story, it can only keep track of a few paragraphs at a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like trying to write a novel on a Post-it note,
Okay.
right?
I can only imagine how that would turn out.
Right. You can only fit so much information in there. But Schmidt is saying that we're getting to a point where AI could have truly infinite memory.
Well, hold on. Infinite memory.
Yep.
It would be able to remember every interaction it's ever had, every piece of data it's ever processed.
So if I had a conversation with an AI 10 years ago, it would remember everything we talked about.
Precisely. Imagine the possibilities.
My mind is already blown.
Right. It could track your personal growth, understand your values and belief on a really deep level. It could offer insights that a human could never even come close to.
That's both amazing and kind of creepy. I mean, it's like having a digital shadow that knows everything about you.
It's true. It does raise some serious questions about privacy
Yeah.
and control, for
Yeah.
sure. But just think about the potential benefits, like in healthcare.
Okay, yeah. I was just about to say, if this AI remembers everything, it could totally revolutionize how we treat diseases.
Exactly. Imagine going to the doctor and the AI has access to your entire medical history, every test result, every symptom, everything.
Going back years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could analyze all that data, find patterns that human doctors might miss.
And then it could even predict health issues before they happen. Exactly. Talk about preventative care, right?
Right. It's like having the world's best medical expert in your pocket at all times.
And it's not just healthcare. Think about education. An AI with infinite memory could be like the ultimate personalized tutor.
Oh, wow.
Remember every student's learning style, strengths, weaknesses.
Tailor everything perfectly.
Exactly. And it could even go beyond just personalized learning. Imagine an AI that can understand entire code bases, remember every line of code.
Wait, so now we're talking about AI that can not only understand code, but also write its own code.
You got it. It's called recursive self-improvement.
Recursive self-improvement.
Schmidt believes AI will be able to write and improve its own code.
So AI can be its own programmer.
Essentially. Now that's where things start to get really interesting and maybe a little scary, right?
Yeah, that's definitely where my brain starts to glitch a little. Like, AI surpassing human intelligence in all these areas, that's a lot to process.
It is, and it's something we definitely need to approach carefully, but there's even more. Schmidt also talks about the rise of AI agents.
Okay, what are AI agents? Like little AI robots running around.
Not exactly. Think of them as autonomous systems that can interact with the digital world and perform tasks based on your instructions.
So like a superpowered virtual assistant.
Exactly. Like imagine saying, hey, AI, book me a flight to Hawaii, find the best vegetarian restaurant there, and schedule a surfing lesson for Tuesday morning.
Sounds like a dream vacation.
Right. And all of that would just happen seamlessly.
Okay, now I am ready for the future.
Right. But it goes beyond those simple tasks, too. Imagine AI agents managing your finances, negotiating contracts, even creating art or writing stories based on your ideas.
That's wild. It all sounds amazing, but I've got to ask, are we really ready to hand over so much control to AI?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why we need to be having these conversations now. Like right now.
Before it's too late.
Before it's too late to put some safeguards in place, we need to think about ethical guidelines, regulations, all that stuff.
So it's not just about developing this incredible AI. It's also about developing the wisdom to use it responsibly.
Exactly. We need to make sure that AI benefits humanity, not the other way around.
Okay, I'm glad we're talking about this. It's a lot to take in, but it's definitely important stuff.
For sure.
I mean, it feels like AI is moving so fast.
It really is.
Like, how do we even keep up?
I know. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is just to stay informed, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, don't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend it's not happening.
Right, exactly. Like, read articles, listen to podcasts,
Do your research.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to, ask questions.
Right. Challenge those assumptions.
Totally. The more we talk about AI, the better equipped we'll be to actually deal with it,
Yeah, it's like anything else, the more you understand it,
Yeah,
the less scary it becomes.
totally. Knowledge is power.
Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're tackling the world of AI, but through a really unique lens.
A fascinating lens, really. We'll be exploring the work of John Lennox.
John Lennox.
Yes, he's a mathematician at Oxford,
Okay.
a bioethicist,
Wow.
and a Christian author who's really diving deep into the implications of AI.
So, he's not just looking at the nuts and bolts of how AI works.
No, not at all. He's asking the big questions like, what does AI mean for humanity, for our understanding of ourselves, even for our faith?
That's interesting because we often hear these kind of apocalyptic warnings about AI, the robots taking over.
Right, the Terminator scenario.
Exactly. But it sounds like Lennox is going deeper than that,
Much deeper. See, he challenges this idea that science is the only path to truth.
which is a pretty common assumption these days.
It is, and it's something he calls scientism. This belief that science can answer every question, even about meaning and morality.
So it's like saying science can tell you what a car is made of.
Yes.
But it can't tell you why someone built it or where they want to drive it.
Precisely. He uses this great analogy about Aunt Matilda's cake.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Imagine scientists analyzing this cake.
Right.
They can break down the ingredients, tell you the chemical composition, but can they tell you why Aunt Matilda baked it? Was it for birthday? To comfort a friend? Science alone can't answer that.
So we need something more than just a scientific lens to understand the world.
Lennox would say absolutely. He sees faith as a way of exploring the why behind things. The questions science can't answer. And this becomes crucial in the age of AI.
Because we're not just dealing with machines anymore. We're dealing with systems that can learn, adapt, and even make decisions.
Exactly. And if we only look at AI through a purely scientific lens, we might miss some vital ethical considerations.
Like what kind of consideration?
Well, think about those personalized shopping recommendations. You know, the people who bought this also bought that.
Oh, yeah, those are everywhere online.
They can be helpful, sure, but are they also manipulating our choices? Are they shaping our desires without us even realizing it?
That's a good point. It's like those algorithms are getting to know us better than we know ourselves.
And that's just one example. Facial recognition technology is becoming more and more commonplace.
True.
But where's the line between security and surveillance?
Yeah.
Between convenience and control?
So it's not just about whether AI is good or bad. It's about how we use it, right?
Absolutely. Lennox calls this narrow AI systems designed for specific tasks.
Narrow AI, okay.
And while these can be incredibly useful, we need to be aware of their potential downsides. Like, take China, for example. They're using AI for mass surveillance through their social credit system.
I've heard about that. It sounds pretty intense.
It is. It's a system where your every move is tracked and judged, and it can impact your access to jobs, travel, even social standing.
So it's like a digital scorecard for your entire life.
That's one way to put it. And it's a stark reminder of how technology can be used to erode individual freedom and enforce conformity.
That's pretty chilling. And you're saying this is happening right now?
It is, and it's a real-world example of what can happen when AI is used for control rather than for good.
So even if we're not living in China, we should still be concerned about this.
Absolutely. Lennox argues that the technology for this kind of surveillance already exists everywhere.
So it's not a question of if it could happen, but when.
Exactly, and that's why we need to be having these conversations now.
So what's the solution? Do we just unplug from the matrix?
That's where Lennox's perspective gets really interesting. He sees a connection between our fascination with AI and what he calls the decline of Christianity in the West.
Okay, how so?
He believes that as traditional religious belief has faded, people have started looking for new gods to fill that void.
And AI is stepping into that role.
In a way, yes. AI promises to solve all our problems, to conquer death, to give us a kind of immortality through technology.
It's like we're trying to build our own Tower of Babel, reaching for heaven through algorithms and microchips instead of bricks and mortar.
That's a powerful image. And it highlights the danger of embracing any belief system without critical thought and a firm moral compass.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but the values behind it, the purpose we give it.
Precisely. And Lennox believes that this is where faith has something vital to offer. But we'll delve into that more in the next part of our deep dive. So before we went to what we were calling a break, we were talking about how people are looking for new gods to fill the void, right?
Yeah, like AI is becoming this new ultimate authority.
Yeah, it promises to solve all our problems, even death.
It's like this really seductive promise, isn't it? That technology can fix everything, conquer death and disease and boredom.
Exactly.
But Lennox is kind of saying, hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, he cautions against putting all our hope in technology.
Like science and technology are amazing tools, but
It can't answer the big questions, right?
about meaning and purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Of where we fit into all of this.
It's like, remember the story of the Tower of Babel?
Oh, yeah, from the Bible.
Right. Humanity trying to reach heaven by building this massive tower.
Trying to become like gods.
Yeah, and Lennox sees a parallel there.
Right.
To our modern obsession with AI. It's like we're building a new Tower of Babel.
But with algorithms and microchips instead of bricks.
Exactly. And just like in the story, it could lead to unintended consequences.
So are you saying that AI could lead to a kind of downfall for humanity?
Well, he's definitely raising some red flags. He's saying, look, without a moral compass, our pursuit of technology could have consequences we don't foresee.
It's like we're building this incredibly powerful tool,
Yeah.
but we don't have an instruction manual.
Exactly. We don't even fully understand it yet.
And that reminds me of his point about the limits of science.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying science can tell us how things work, but not necessarily why they matter.
It's like we can map the human genome, but that doesn't tell us what it means to be human.
Exactly. And that seems particularly relevant when we're talking about AI.
Because AI is starting to blur those lines, right?
Yeah, what does it even mean to be human when machines can think and learn?
And Lennox is urging us to think about these questions now, before it's too late.
Before the machines take over.
Not necessarily take over, but before we create a world where technology controls us, rather than the other way around.
He's particularly concerned about artificial general intelligence.
AGI, yeah.
Which is basically AI that can think like a human, right?
Yes, possessing the same general cognitive abilities.
We're not there yet, are we?
Not quite, but the pace of development is astonishing.
And Lennox is saying we need to be prepared.
He's pointing to AI experts like Geoffrey Hinton,
Okay.
who's been pretty vocal about his concerns about this,
What kind of concerns?
Hinton's worried about AI becoming so advanced that it escapes our control.
Like it could start writing its own code.
Yeah. Leading to consequences that we can't even imagine.
It's like a sci-fi movie come to life. But if guys like Hinton are worried, maybe we should be too.
And it's not just about the technical side of things, right? It's about the ethical and philosophical questions too.
Like what happens to our sense of identity and purpose if we're not the most intelligent beings on the planet anymore?
Exactly. These are the things Lennox is asking us to grapple with.
So are we doomed? Is the future just robots and algorithms running everything?
Well, Lennox wouldn't say doomed. He's
Right.
more like, we need to be having these conversations now, right?
Well, we still have a choice.
Exactly. He's saying we can shape the development of AI in a way that aligns with our values.
But whose values? Everyone's got a different idea of what's right and wrong.
And that's a big challenge, for sure.
Lennox mentioned Max Tegmark and his work on AI scenarios.
Oh, yeah. Tegmark's got these different possibilities, right?
From AI being a benevolent protector god
Right.
to it wiping out humanity because we're a nuisance.
Pretty extreme scenarios, yeah.
But it highlights the stakes,
It does. The choices we make now about AI will have consequences for a long time.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about who controls it
And how we decide to use it.
and how it shapes our understanding of ourselves.
Lennox is calling for a more thoughtful approach, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's not about being anti-technology,
It's about being more balanced.
seeing both the benefits and the risks.
He sees this as a pivotal moment for humanity.
Yeah, like we're standing at a crossroads.
And the path we choose will have a huge impact on the future.
So where does faith fit into all of this? I mean, you mentioned earlier that Lennox sees a connection between the decline of Christianity and the rise of AI as this new god.
Yeah,
Is he saying that we need to go back to church to solve the AI problem?
that's a good question, and I think it's one we should explore in the final part of our deep dive.
All right, so we're back. And the big question hanging in the air is, does Lennox think we all need to go back to church to solve this whole AI dilemma?
Well, it's not that straightforward. It's not like he's saying ditch your smartphone and grab a prayer book.
Okay, so it's more nuanced than that.
Yeah, Lennox is all about bringing faith and reason together.
But he does see a connection between, the decline of Christianity and this rise of AI as this kind of technological savior.
Right, like as traditional religious beliefs have faded.
People are looking for something to fill that void.
And AI, with all its promises, is kind of stepping into that role.
So how does he see those two things interacting? Faith and this whole AI revolution.
Well, he thinks the Christian faith has a unique perspective to offer.
Okay, so
Like, Christianity emphasizes the inherent dignity of every human being.
because we're created in the image of God, right?
Exactly. And that's a big contrast to this transhumanist view.
Transhumanism. That's the whole idea of using technology to enhance humans.
Right. To overcome our limitations, merge with machines.
Even achieve immortality.
Yeah. But it kind of sees humans as just, hackable animal, as one of the guys we were talking about put it.
Like we're just biological machines that can be upgraded and optimized.
And Lennox is pushing back against that.
He's saying there's more to being human than just our physical bodies and our brains.
Yeah, like there's a spiritual dimension that can't be reduced to algorithms or genetic code.
And this is where faith comes in.
Yeah, Lennox believes this spiritual dimension is key to understanding our place in this world, especially as AI becomes more powerful.
He's talked about the resurrection, a historical event, he says, that changes everything.
It's central to the Christian faith.
Right, the idea that Jesus rose from the dead. But how does that connect to AI?
Well, for Lennox, the resurrection shows that death isn't the end of the story.
Okay.
There's something beyond this material world.
A realm of hope and eternal life.
And that hope isn't something we achieve through technology.
It's not about uploading our consciousness to some supercomputer.
No, it's a transformation that comes from outside ourselves.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
So it's not about becoming gods through technology.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing our dependence on a God who's already overcome death.
And offers us this new way of being.
A way of being that's not all about efficiency and optimization.
Yeah. It's about love and compassion.
Forgiveness.
Respect for the dignity of every human being.
Those sound like pretty good values to guide us as we navigate this whole AI age.
Right. Lennox is saying these values should shape how we develop and use AI.
But that seems pretty idealistic, you know? The world doesn't always work that way.
It's a challenge, for sure. But Lennox doesn't pretend to have all the answers.
So what does he suggest?
Well, he emphasizes education, dialogue, collaboration.
Bringing people together from different backgrounds.
To think critically, share their perspectives.
To make sure we're developing AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
And he sees a role for faith in this, too.
Providing a foundation for those values.
A source of wisdom and hope.
So what are your final thoughts on all this?
Well, I think Lennox offers a really refreshing perspective.
Yeah, it's not about being afraid of AI or trying to stop progress.
It's about approaching it with wisdom, compassion, and a deep respect for human dignity.
Like, we have a choice to make.
A choice about what kind of future we want to create.
And AI can be a powerful force for good.
But only if we use it wisely.
And that's a responsibility we all share.
It's not just up to the scientists and the engineer.
It's up to all of us. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to thank you all for listening.
And for joining us on this journey.
We hope it's given you some food for thought.
And that you'll continue to explore these ideas.
And engage in the conversation about AI and its impact on our world.
Because the future is being shaped right now.
And we all have a role to play.